Guys, today we're taking a look at a really exciting video, which is the BHAPTICS suit that we have here. As you can see, I have all the accessories here ready to go. So I have the BHAPTICS suit here, and I have the left arm, the right arm, and I even have the haptic connected here on the side to my headset, which goes into your actual face interface here that's plugged into the index. And then you can actually get feedback even on your face. So why I'm really excited about this and really excited to show you guys this, guys, is I think this is bringing VR into a whole new level. So not only now do we have, you know, the presence of being in a world, but now we can actually feel things. So if you get shot in a game and you get shot here, you'll get shot and feel it right here. But if you get shot here, you feel it here. If you get shot in the back, you'll also feel it on your back. And, you know, if you have gunshots that you're taking, you can actually feel them on your arms as you pull the trigger of it being vibrated. And here on the face, games like Half-Life Alyx, when you're playing through Half-Life Alyx and those things jump on your face, you really feel like that guy jumped on your face and you really feel it. And, you know, there's so many cool experiences, and we're going to be running through a bunch of different games on how they actually work and how you can, you know, set them up using this thing, and all the different experiences that you can expect, and even some in the future that the BHAPTIC company has already said that will support this. And this not only gets supported on the Valve Index, but also gets supported on the actual Oculus Quest 2. So you look forward to a video after this one, when I get my Oculus Quest 2 in, of me doing a full other review with the games that are supported on the Oculus Quest 2 using this BHAPTIC suit. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to start off here with is the actual setup of the actual product. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually set this product up. So if you go here on the bhaptics.com website, all you do is you go to support, then you go to download. This screen will come up. You'll choose the version that you need. So this is for PC. There's a mobile application as well that you can use to test out some features on the actual haptic suit. But what you want for PC is this here. So Windows 10 version 17.03 onwards. So this is probably what most people are going to get. And then when you download it, you just install like any regular application you would, which I already have. And then you open up the BHAPTICS application here. And then you have the BHAPTICS application open here. Now, a couple of things with this. So let's talk about the pairing. So this is going to be what the application looks like here. And this is your pairing screen. So this is actually a really simple pairing process. So you can see here that there's, depending on what devices you have, we talked about already that I have the vest, which would be this right here. And then the left arm, the right arm, and then the piece that goes into your actual face. So you got that piece right here. Then they also sell gloves if you want to put, or hands that they got here, and then also things for your feet. I think, you know, the main core, in my opinion, of things that you would want if you want like the full experience is probably these top four, at least this top three here. But these four things will give you basically the experience in most games, like truly to form. You know, these add a little bit more features with the gloves, so then you get haptic feedback on your hands also. But realistically, you get the feedback on your hands by wearing this left and right arm thing on your hands. So I think this is probably the core, but if you want even more, you know, those options are there. But all you do to pair, if you want to start pairing these, is you take the actual thing, as you can see here, you take the actual piece, and all you do is you hold the button down, and it will start blinking red, which means it's basically waiting for pairing. And then once it's waiting for pairing, since mine has already connected, you can see my left arm has already connected. And it is now connected to the screen. Now that it's, you'll see that the thing is paired and it's blue. And that's for the left arm. Now if I do the same thing with all my other devices, and I start pairing them all, since I've already paired them before, they're all going to pair up really easily. And you can see that they start pairing. The vest is just turned on. The other hand has just turned on. And then the last thing we got to turn on is, of course, the actual thing on your face. I forget the name of the thing. But the one that goes on your face, you turn that on. And then you can see that they're all connected and ready to go at this point. Now, keep in mind that these are all working via Bluetooth. One of the things that I noticed with this here, with this player, the little Bluetooth dongle that they give you is the one that I recommend you use. Because I tried to use a Bluetooth that came with my motherboard, and that Bluetooth will not work well. It will lose connection even though you're like not that far away from your PC. So use the actual Bluetooth dongle that comes with all these devices. You only need one Bluetooth dongle connected, and then the devices will work seamlessly once you connect them. And then you can right-click these if you need to unpair them and pair them, or if you need to ping them, they'll vibrate to make sure that they're connected correctly. But yeah, the process is really simple. You plug in that Bluetooth adapter to your PC. Once that Bluetooth adapter is plugged in, then you just turn on those devices, you hold it, you wait for the pairing to show up, and then the app will automatically find it, and it will connect. And that's it. And if for some reason it doesn't connect on its own, you can right-click this and hit pair, which will show up here if it wasn't paired. And, you know, it will start actively looking for it, and you turn it on, and it will find it on its own. It's really, really easy and really seamless. Every time I've connected and turned these back on, the program finds it really simple. So no issues with that. Now, a couple of features that I wanted to talk about here on the app before we get into the gameplay here is that in this app here, there is this button right here, which is audio to haptic feedback. Now, during our gameplay, I'll be talking about how games work. There are certain games that have native support on the PC, which means you do nothing but leave this player just as is, and you run a game on Steam VR, and you just play it, and there's nothing you need to do. So there's no modding, there's no nothing. Then there's other games where there's sometimes some modding support you need to do. So sometimes you need to download a mod that somebody has made in the community, like some of the games we'll be playing today, which I'll mention as we go through them, and you just, you know, put them in the, like, for example, Superhot has a mod. So you go ahead, you put it into the folder, you put the mod into Superhot, and then you run Superhot, and then you're good from there on out. Like, the mod's always obviously in the Superhot folder, so you have nothing else to do, and the player still runs and stays as is. But there is another feature that they have incorporated, which is called audio to haptic feedback, which basically means any audio that it hears coming from your PC, it will just go into and actually run that, obviously, based on audio feedback. So if you come into here and you turn this on, you can see that now the audio has turned to audio and haptic feedback. You don't want this turned on if you're playing a game that has native support or mod support. This is only for games that have no support at all and you want to use them with this vest anyway. Or if they're on this list here. So you can see here that these are games that don't have actual full support, but they have audio to haptic feedback advanced support. So what this is Beat Saber, The Walking Dead, Arizona Sunshine, Onward. They have specific profiles that the developers have made that will kind of sense, like, they recognize when shots are being fired, they recognize when things are happening, so you'll get that feedback even though it's not fully supported by the vest. So, for example, Beat Saber, if you have the Steam VR version, it has advanced audio haptics. When you slice something, you'll actually feel the slicing and feel it on your vest. For Onward VR, it's tuned to for you to actually feel the gunshots in the game. Now, these aren't going to be as good as native support games. That's the difference between using this audio haptic feedback thing as opposed to native or modded games. But we'll go through that as the games that I'm showing you on what supports what that's currently on here. But just to give you guys an idea. So that's the audio to haptic. So you want this turned on only if the games that I'm running through and showing you don't actually have support for the game at all, and you just want to use them just to get any audio that's converted. It will go and start vibrating your chest based on the way that the bass is and the way the audio is. Some games are going to work better than others. Or if it's one of those games on this list that have advanced profiles for it. If the game has native support like I talk about, or even mod support, then you don't need this. You leave that turned off. You just have the player running and you play the game. So that is a quick overview on how the setup is on this. And now we're going to get into some actual gameplay on this. So I'm going to run through some games. I'm going to talk about, you know, how the games play, what feedback you can expect from those games, if they're fully supported, if they're mod supported, if they're advanced audio haptic support, or how the support actually works. So let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. So the first game we have here is Crisis Brigade 2. This game is so much fun. If you guys are familiar with games like Time Crisis, this is basically that game, and this game is really fun with the haptic too. As you can see here, I'm taking these shots, and every shot that I actually take, I could feel on my arms, on the left and right arm. As you're taking the shots, you can feel it, and you know, it's just a lot of fun to play. You can feel the shots hit your head, as you'll see here in a moment when I end up getting shot. You can feel it in your head, you can feel it in the chest in the exact position. So this has full native support with the BHAPTICS, all three pieces of it, and you can feel it on your head when you get shot. You can feel it on your chest when you get shot. And it just adds a whole new level of immersion with this game, with how well this is incorporated with this game. And the game is already fun as it is. This just makes it even more fun when you, you know, get to feel all these haptics hit you. Like that one right there hit me in the chest, and definitely felt that one. The next game on here that has also native support is Thrill of the Fight. Now this is a really fun boxing game, and this one really incorporates all the pieces of the suit as well. Really, really well. So if you get hit in the head by him, you feel that thump. Every single time he hit me in the head, I could feel it on my head. Every time I punch him and I hit him in the chest or in the face, I can feel it in my left and right arm as I'm making contact with his body. And of course, if he hits me in the chest or he hits me in a different part of the body, and even the one time he hit me in the back, I also felt that as well when he hit me in the back. So this one incorporates the BHAPTICS suit really well as well. Full native support, nothing to do with this game. It just works when you run it. And just a really, really fun boxing game. And this adds a whole new level of immersion with everything working together. The next one on this list is called Tower Tag. Now, Tower Tag is an interesting game that I don't think a lot of people even know about, but it's a great multiplayer game. It has bots if you want, which is what I'm playing with here. And it's basically about either deathmatch or capturing points and stuff. You have 4 members on each side, and you're trying to capture all these towers, and you can pull yourself on these towers by capturing them and stuff and shoot people that are on the tower. Really, really fun game to play, and this also incorporates the BHAPTICS suit really well. Everything works. You get shot in the head, you feel it. You get shot in the chest in different areas, you can feel it. The shots that you take with your arm, every time you take a shot with your gun, you get the vibration feedback on your arm. So everything works really, really well in this game. And this game needs more attention because this game is really, really fun to play. And I don't think a lot of people know about this one, but luckily there's bots and you can play with bots and they're fun to play against. But it'd be great if more people got into this game because this game is a hell of a lot of fun and great multiplayer game. And a lot of strategic things that you can do, capturing all these points and moving and hopping around and stuff. So good one to check into with the BHAPTICS suit. Now this game is fantastic in general. This game, Z Caliber, has always been a fantastic game. There's so many different variety in the mission types that you can actually play. The graphics look outstanding in it. And this looks even better due to the fact that it has BHAPTICS, the BHAPTICS in it. And everything, as the other games, it has native support. It works really well with it. You can feel every shot, feel everything that you take in the chest. You can feel every gun shot that you see me take here. I can feel my left and right arm. That shot that I got hit in the left, I can feel it in my left. Everything works as it should. You can also feel the shots in the head. I almost took out my AI opponent there, even though he died eventually anyway. But yeah, this one's fantastic. The game is fantastic in itself, and the BHAPTICS suit just makes it even better. Feeling every shot that you either shoot them on your arms or every shot that you get with, is just fantastic. And this game is just another outstanding natively supported game with the BHAPTICS suit. Super Hot VR is one of the ones that we're first talking about that actually requires a mod, but the mod is really simple. It's coming soon to the BHAPTICS. This is an early testing that I have, and all it is you download a file, you drop it into the Super Hot folder, and you're basically ready to go. And then from there on out, the game just works. And this one is really cool as well. Same exact philosophy. If you get hit in certain areas, you can feel it. If you have a gun in the game and you grab a gun, then of course you can feel it with the left and right arm as you're taking those shots. And if you get hit by one of these guys, eventually you feel it in your chest. And of course, when you eventually die, your whole suit kind of like gets that feeling of it just getting shocked all over and like you basically just took a death, which is a really cool effect as well. And as you can see there, when I got shot, felt it all. The next game, of course, is Half-Life Alyx. Now, this mod is still just as easy, but you do need to basically have a application running along with the BHAPTICS software on your PC when you start this game up. But it's really, really simple. Same exact idea. You put the files into the folder for Half-Life Alyx, run this program before you play it, and you're good to go. And you can play the whole game, or like I'm playing here, an actual mod for the game. And this game has the BHAPTICS suit incorporated perfectly. As you see me drop these in my back, you can actually feel like you're putting something in your book bag. It feels like you're dropping it into your back. This game incorporates the BHAPTICS suit the best in my opinion, even though it is a mod, because every little feature in the game incorporates the BHAPTICS suit so well. That whole feeling it, throwing something in your backpack as it rolls down your back is a crazy feeling as you feel like you have a backpack on. And of course, it has the stuff that we talked about before. If you take a shot, you can feel it in your left and right arm as you're taking those shots with the gun. If you take shots against you, of course, you'll feel it in your chest and stuff like that. All that stuff is all there. And what's really cool is they even added a feature that when you get shot and you're under a certain amount of health, like if you start with three health, if you take more damage, you can actually feel your heartbeat, and the heartbeat is pumping in your chest, letting you know you're low on health. Really, really cool. And then of course, eventually, when you get to the part and you have these guys coming after you and stuff, these guys that everyone's afraid of, when he hops on top of you, whether he hops on your back or your front on your head, if he hops on your head just like that, you're going to feel him scraping on your head. You're going to feel your head vibrate. You're going to feel your chest vibrate if he hops on top of you. If he's behind you, you're going to feel him on top of you. I felt that right on my head, and it's just a crazy, crazy cool game. And the fact that you can play the whole game with the BHAPTICS TACTSUIT mod is awesome, and this is fantastic. The last one we're taking a look at is Beat Saber. This is the one that uses the advanced audio to haptic feature that I told you in the software that needs to be turned on. And this one's still really cool because you feel every single slice of these blocks that I'm hitting. I can feel it in my suit. The head plate does not vibrate in games that don't have native support. You wouldn't want your head vibrating the whole time, so that's a good thing. But this one's still really fun, feeling the audio. It feels like you're in like a soundstage right next to a subwoofer as you play these songs. It's a crazy, crazy cool effect. But yeah, these are all the games that I'm showing you guys now that support the Haptic Suit. So let's go ahead and get to the table and talk about my overall impressions.
All right, guys, so that was a BHAPTICS Suit review on the Valve Index. Now, as you guys can tell, with all the variety of games that I showed you, there is a lot to like about this package. Now, granted, this is a really, really expensive package. We're talking this suit right here by itself is $499 by itself, just for the suit. And then these are $150. No, sorry. These are $250 for the pair, so $250 for both of these, and then the other one is $150 for the actual facial interface. And that facial interface also needs you to have VR cover because the way that it sticks on is obviously with that Velcro, and it doesn't come with like the actual interface thing that the Index has. And the one that comes with the Index obviously is for the Index, and you can't take the actual cushioning off that comes with the Index. So you need the VR cover, so you keep that in mind. You'll need to also buy the VR cover if you don't currently use it for the Index to be able to use that facial interface with it. But once you guys have this and it's all set up, it's really, really cool. Now, if you can only buy one, the first thing I recommend is definitely the vest, of course. The vest is definitely the main thing. Second would definitely be these arms, and third would be the facial interface. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the games. There's actually a lot of games that are gaining support for this. There used to be, when this first thing came out, because this has been around for a while, there wasn't a lot of support for it, which is kind of why I ignored it. They didn't really have a lot of game support. They weren't talking about native games getting it. But as of like the last 4 to 6 months and going on to the future, they keep adding more and more support, and developers are getting more and more interested in this stuff because they have people who are making mods and people who are familiar with PC mods. It's really easy to install. When we talked about Superhot in the video, all you do is you download the folder for the mod from the Discord and stuff when they put it up, or from their Twitter. You download the mod, you take the mod, you put it into the Superhot folder, and you're done. And then from there on out, Superhot will just work when you run it. There's nothing really to do. And if the game has native support, it's obviously as simple as just going into the game and either running it, or maybe sometimes the games let you go into the options to actually turn it on. But most of the time, you just run the game and you're good to go. And you just feel everything as you should. Sometimes the games that are obviously on here are a little bit more involved. Like for example, for Half-Life Alyx, the install is still really, really easy, but you actually have to run an application before you actually play Half-Life Alyx, which I had an icon on my desktop there before. So you run that application at the same time you're running the BHAPTICS Suit, and then the game works as you play it throughout the whole entire experience. So it's still really easy, but that one specifically requires another application to be run at the same time. And then there's things like VR chat, where you need to do a lot more involved work. There's actually tutorials online of how to get VR chat running. So that one's a lot more involved. That's the only one that is actually really involved. So I hope that they eventually just add support to VR chat natively. But for the most part, the games that are native and the games that are mod supported are really, really simple to use, really, really easy to set up and get going, and you're gonna have a blast. And then of course we have the audio to audio haptic feedback. And there's a couple of games that have advanced audio to haptic feedback, which is Beat Saber and The Walking Dead. And what that means is that is tuned to specific game action. So for example, in Beat Saber, when you actually slice the blocks, you can feel it as you slice the blocks on your arms and your chest. But and then for The Walking Dead, when you get shot and stuff, they have advanced audio feedback, and then when the zombies try to eat you, you feel that on your chest. Those are called advanced audio to haptics. Now, the other ones like Contractors and Pavlov, they have profiles for audio haptic feedback, but it's not the advanced one where specific actions in the game are going to do things to you. Those are just taking the audio, and they have profiles to say, hey, the background is not something you should take into account for the music, but if you feel a gunshot, you know, hit him in the chest. But it's not taking advanced options like a native support would, where you're getting shot in the exact direction that somebody's shooting you, or the exact position that a zombie is biting you. So you still get the advanced audio haptic feedback, which is a good feature to have for games that aren't natively supported. But of course, the goal is to use games that are natively supported or modded from the community to work with this natively, because that is where the experience goes to the next level, where you could feel things happening on your body that are mimicking exactly where they're coming from in the game, as you guys saw in the gameplay. Now, overall, I don't think this is probably going to be for everyone. Obviously, the suit and stuff is really, really expensive. But if you have money laying around and you want to take your VR to the next level, like I said, with the Valve Index or the Quest, I'll be doing a separate video on the Quest, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, because there are specific games that work on the Quest that work with this natively. And that will be an interesting video to see what games work on there that are different from the PC side. But I'm really happy with their support is coming from this. When you join their Discord and you follow them on Twitter, they always post when a new game is coming. There's more and more games, not just the ones that I showed here today, that are coming every day. And they're always adding new support to games. They're always listening to the community. A big game and a big topic that a lot of people are talking about now of a horror game that came out is, I forget how to actually pronounce it, but I'll put it at the bottom of this video. I forget. But it's at the bottom of this video, so you guys know what I'm talking about. And that is a really popular horror game right now. You're basically going in and you're trying to find a ghost in the house with 3 other co-op friends and stuff. And immediately everybody in that Discord was like, damn, can we get haptic support for that game? Because that game is getting extremely popular, and you'd be freaking out even more playing a horror game that's already scary to begin with. And now being able to feel stuff, that's going to be insane. And they already got the VR developers to agree to add haptic support for that game. So it's going to be insane. All they need to do is keep adding support to games like they're doing, and I think this will continue to reach more and more people, because in the beginning, they only had a couple of games to have natively supported, and that's what kind of deterred people off like me. But now, with the fact that they already have a bunch of games already, with the ones that I showed and more, and if you look at their Twitter and their website, they're adding more all the time, and their Discord, I'm really, really excited for the future of this thing, and I can't wait to see what new games they have coming next. And also the battery life on this thing. The battery life on this thing is awesome. The chest actually lasts like 12 hours. These things last a little bit less, but 12 hours. Same thing with the facial. It doesn't last as long, but this vest lasts 12 hours. These last a little less, and so does the facial interface. But the battery life on these things is really easy. It charges via USB-C. You just plug it into. They all come with USB-C cables. You just plug it in and you charge it, and you're ready to go. So no issues, and I'm loving the fact that it's completely wireless. If that wasn't apparent already, no cables on this at all when you're using it. You're not hooked up to anything. Everything's completely wireless. And talking about the games that we played, it is fantastic. I mean, I said it before and I said it throughout the gameplay. It is so much fun to have this suit on and get that immersion level to the next level. And I think when most people play this and they get that immersion, especially if you're a really big fan of like shooters and stuff, if all you play is like Onward and like Pavlov and stuff, right now they only have the audio to haptic feedback that I talked about, where it's not really natively supported, but they already announced that those games like Onward are going to come out of audio to haptic feedback and get their actual native support this year. And that's going to be huge for people who play, games like Pavlov and Onward and stuff, because those are the hardcore of the hardcore VR community. Those people love, like, they are the ones who get the gun stocks and get the gun stocks that you can actually feel the recoil and stuff. Now they get to add a chest piece, and when they actually get shot, they feel it in the position that they're actually getting shot. If you get shot in the back, somebody's behind you because you feel that feedback from behind you, and you're getting shot. And to have the feedback on your arms when you're actually taking these shots and stuff, that's all going to be awesome. And I think that's going to really add a layer, to that community. And I think that's going to be a really big push for that community for people who play games like that. And I just really like everything about this. I'm glad that I got it. I know it's on the expensive side, so like I said, it's not going to be for everyone. But I'm really, really enjoying this, and I can't wait to have people over after COVID is over to have them put this suit on and have them experience this stuff. And even games, just to mention really quick, even games that aren't natively supported, some of them are going to be a hit or miss, obviously, depending on how the game is played. But for example, I really wanted a horror game in VR, and I wanted this to work with it. So one of the games that immediately came to mind is Affected the Manor, an old game, but has always been improved and always being updated, and is actually going to be updated this week again, or in this week or the next week, for Quest 2 support and making changes to it. And I wanted a game like that to be able to show to people. I want a horror game, obviously, for people to feel. And there's no native supported games yet, besides the one I talked about before that's coming soon.
but that's an online game. I wanted a game that was just like a haunted house walkthrough and kind of give people a 10 to 15 minute experience. And this is that game. And these, even though it doesn't work specifically with that game, it has no actual support, the audio to haptic feedback with that game actually works surprisingly well, because for most of that game, you're walking around a haunted house and there's no actual music. So you're not going to be feeling this rumbling every 2.5 seconds because it feels a lot of bass or anything. It's usually quiet when you're walking around the house. And when something happens that isn't quiet and it's trying to jump scare you, it's going to give you the feedback and you're going to jump and feel it even more. Like, for example, the one scene right at the beginning of that game is when the bats come through the window. And as soon as the bats come through the window, your whole chest piece and everything vibrates and you shit your pants even more than you did before, because now you're actually feeling it. So it definitely adds that level of immersion, but I can't wait till they make native support with games like this. So, imagine a ghost in a VR game, actually touching you in your back, and you turn around and the ghost is right there. Like, the possibility in horror games are endless, just like they are with shooters and stuff. So I'm really, really excited for the future of this product, guys, if you guys couldn't tell. But I think that's everything you guys need to know about this haptic suit. If you have the money to splurge, I think it's highly recommended. I told you the order of how I would actually buy these depending on who you are. But I really, really like it, and I'm glad that they're supporting it with more and more games, as the last 6 months have shown, and we're getting more games in the next 3 months and into the future. So, and they're really, really responsive too on their Discord. So, really, really happy with the product so far, guys. If you guys have any questions about anything you guys have seen here today, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.
Tech, Gaming Techie is the gaming tech, Gaming Techie, Gaming Tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, Gaming Techie is the gaming tech, Gaming Techie.